going on, guys? This is Art of Coding, and today I'll show you how to prevent your web application from cross-site scripting, also known as XSS attacks. Now XSS attacks are every web application has input fields, right? Using those input fields, if you haven't used proper precautions and proper validations and techniques to prevent them, some malicious users, actually attackers and hackers, you know them, so they can actually break your application. They can penetrate your application and inject some malicious inputs to your application and break down the functionality of your application, and they can alter the behavior of your application, and they can do many more things. I mean, even they can even advertise their own products for like multi-billion-dollar companies, and they can make a profit out of your site without even you knowing how did that happen, and so on and so forth. I'll be bringing you guys a new video about what are cross-site script attacks problems, that some live demonstrations as well, but for now I'll just go ahead and implement a couple of ways to prevent your application from getting cross-site scripted. Actually, I'll be building up a application using two mechanisms, using actually regex and I'll be using PHP as backend, so I'll use PHP's built-in mechanisms to prevent user actually filter user inputs and hopefully secure application. Let's get this started. I'm gonna start it from the beginning. So let's create index.php. I'm gonna say okay. Oops, what is that? Okay, you don't need that. What was I thinking? So XSS demo. Okay, in here let me just say h1 user input, and I'll use center tags to center everything inside the application, and VR, why not, and create form. You guys all know this simple HTML. Let's say our script would be save.php, and what I want to do is I want to create a text and name, user input. Okay, and break here and say button submit, and button type should be submit, and we're good. So you have to go to localhost, guys, and say what was my XSS tutorial dash tutorial, and we have our index page. It's completely breaking down. Oh my god, it's not beautiful, it's ugly, but I think it gets the work done. After all, this is for demonstration purposes. So okay, what I'm going to do here is what I'm trying to do here. When you input some text using this and you select you submit it, and then it'll go to your server side and it'll save your whatever you input in the database. In this case, I'm not going to use a database. I'll just use use a simple text file. It doesn't matter, database or text file, the same thing happens. I'll explain to you. So, and after that, it'll post back and it'll redirect to this page, and it'll say, okay, you have your user input is here. Now I'm going to implement that using, let's say, okay, using paragraph tag, and I'm gonna say okay, I'll get to that later after we submit it and come back. Okay, now we want to create another file, our script that runs PHP. Now we want PHP. Okay, and we want to get that input that we entered using I did a post actually. So you say user input and say $user. Okay, go with that. User input, user input. Now we get that. First of all, I'll just not use any kind of validations. I'll just do in the dumb way that you for the demonstration purposes, and see how that breaks down your application. Okay, and I'm gonna say, alright, so I'll have to open a file. Okay, now in PHP we have a method, built-in method called fopen, and you give your file name. I'm going to say, let's say database, and you don't need to define a extension, it'll create automatically. So the file is now open, and we are assigning that to this file object. And now what we're going to do is we have to write our user input using fwrite. Oops. We're going to give, as you can see here, you can say fwrite resource handle and string what you want to write. So I'm going to say, I want to insert whatever the values I'm giving into this file, and I'll say user input, put user input into that file, and I'm going to say close. It's a good practice when you open a file, you close the file. So that's done. And what I want to do is, now your file is here, and I want to, let's say I want to go back to the index page. So we will say header function, header location dot loop colon index dot php. Now it will go whatever you input in there. Okay, let's say Chad and submit, and it's redirected back. And I'm gonna go into my what's happening right now, my file in my WAMP server, WAMP 64. I'm using WAMP server, guys. You can use XAMPP, doesn't matter. In XAMPP you have to go htdocs and find your file. In my case, this is XSS tutorial, the file I'm currently creating. And oops, this is not it. Okay, file is not created. Did I do everything right? User input, user input, user input. Okay. Oops. Oh my god. Shit. Okay. When you open the file, you have to select the way that you're gonna open the file. You can use there are multiple ways to open your file. You can append, and you can just write open your file for reading purposes only, and if that, you have to give a second parameter called R. And if not, for the appending purposes, now I'm appending every text, that it will get appended to the last text. Yeah, for the last pointer location, it'll append whatever the things I'm importing. It's like a database. Now if I go there, now this is append. You can use W, and you can, if you want to open a binary file, you can use B and things like that. You can search that on Google. It's no big a deal. It's just this parameter only changes. Now if I go here and refresh that, I'll say Chad, and there you go. You have your database file and Notepad. Now there you go. You have Chad. Now let me show you a beautiful. Okay, before we go into that, now data is saved. Now I wanna get those data back here when this reloads, and it's like commenting application somewhat. You enter, and then it goes back to your script, and then it'll come back and display whatever the content in your file or database. So I'm gonna say in here, I want to open up PHP tags, and I'm gonna say, okay, I wanna if open okay, now if open, and same here, guys, this is so easy. Open what's the file you want to open, database, and the method you're opening that file. Okay, now I want to use that for read. As I told you earlier, I just want that to read. Now read method, read parameter is given. Now the file is open using read only mode. You can't write using that. Now I want to say if read, let's say data, if read, and I want to say what's the file that I want to read from and the length. Okay, now the length is, we don't know exactly what kind of length that file has. It's after all an appending one, so we can say size of this file. Okay, oops, not size of, file size. Size of goes to array. I think it's, yeah, file size. Okay, now you have your data in there. So what I want to do is I want to echo out that data. Say data, and then it'll echo out. Before we echo out, I want to say, let's echo using line breaks so that it looks clear enough. Okay, and your oh my god, you'll have to give your file name, guys, in here. So there you go, you can see Chad now. If I say oh yeah, okay, there you go, you can see that now. It doesn't render this last line break. Why is that? Okay, what happens is that you open your file using that, and all the content in the file, you read that data, and you cannot just using this won't work. You have to code that inside your file. You have to give a line break here. There you go, now you can see that. Now so guys, what's really happening is that I did some kind of out of the box thing. What I did was just using a, now you might know what's happening right now. So what I did was I just entered this line break tag into our file, and then when it renders back, you can see now HTML changes. Now you might get an idea what's going on. What is cross-site scripting? The same thing, guys. Okay, what's really happening is that when you insert some values into your database, let's say, okay, now you insert some value into your database, and it just goes like, okay, it just chat right like this. Now if I say script. You all know script tag in when you want to define JavaScript, you say whatever goes in there, you say script and whatever the code you wanna insert. Okay, now what I'm gonna do is I haven't used any kind of validation for this text field, knowing the backend part, so I'll just do alert. Okay, I'm hacked. Now this is standard script tag. There you go. As you can see here, instead of rendering the text that I have entered, it just, when you refresh that, it goes back and saves the whatever the content that we insert into our database. See, there you go, alert script tag. This is here. Now in a normal case, this thing should be rendered into your page, but what's happening is, instead of rendering that, this script, what it does is it renders, because what's actually happening is that if you go to page source, you can see here, now it has become a script in your page. Now you might know, when you define script tag, wherever your DOM, which is within HTML document, it will render, guys. Now that's the beauty of this, it will render, because this is front-end language. JavaScript is a front-end language, so because of that, every client's browser will render whatever the content that server will send you. So that is so sick if your application is vulnerable to these kind of attacks, because if you don't use proper validations or use proper precautions, you are done as a developer or software engineer. You are done, because you don't know the possibilities of this. I mean, imagine if someone just for the simplest case scenario, I'll bring you guys another video of how bad XSS attacks can be, and things like that. So a simple case is that, let's say you have a business, a multi-billion business, and not you, let's say client request from you, okay, I want a web application and I want these functionalities. Okay, you provide them, and then without proper validations and mechanisms, you provide that application. Okay, the application is working fine anyways. Now if a malicious user try to hijack your application, let's say he just tries for fun, he tries this and it works, now you're done. What he can do is he can use iframe. You might know that. Let's say if the attacker gets a job from another one, okay, I want this business corrupted, I want you to hack his site and you humiliate him. Okay, what he can do is just simply iframe, and the iframe, it can say source and everything, and then you can even go to your pornographic site and get that iframe from that, and then just simply paste it here and then submit, and boom, and then it will render back that, and the application you created, which you did not include pornographics, now it has pornographics to every damn client the application is open. So you're done. So don't be like that. You have to sanitize your input. Now this is a problem right here. Okay, see, now I got 2. That's a problem. You don't want that. Now let's see how to prevent this. I'm gonna create this. I'm gonna clear that. and okay, now this is because our file is empty. Don't worry about it. Now for the validation part, I'm going to the save.php. Now, as I told you earlier, you can use couple of methods. I mean, there are more to it than this. Like you have to worry about SQL injections as well. It is vast, guys. I'll just give you a glimpse of what we can do to prevent our application from getting completely broken down. What I can do is, if I use PHP's built-in mechanisms, I'll say for the later use purposes, I'll define a function, and let's say sanitize, and then return. Now this is the function that PHP ships with HTML entities. Now that function, now you want to give your dirty string. Okay, dirty string. Whenever you call this function, you call this dirty string, and you want to say dirty string, and you have to pass in some parameters for this, like, and as you can see here, and compact and HTML. I'm going to use int quotes. Did I type that right? I have to refer this, guys. I am not remembering every syntax. Oh my god, you don't use it like that. What is happening to me? And you say UTF-8, this is character encoding, int quotes. Okay, you misspelled. I know I misspelled. Oops, again. Oh my god. Alright, and quotes. Now what this does is that whenever you say, okay, like these quotes or single quotes, double quotes, it will convert those quotes into a format using UTF-8, and it will save the data, and it will not affect, like I'll show you how that goes. And then what I want to do is I want to sanitize this user input using this sanitize function before I enter that data in here. So what I'm going to do is say safe string equals sanitize, our method that we created. I'm going to give not file user input, and that's done. Now it goes here and it filters, sanitize that, and then return the string, and then we put that in here. And what I want to do is I want to say save string, and boom, we're good. Now if I say this and submit, and it does not do anything. Okay, why is that? Did I refresh it? Okay. Oh my god, what did I do? I'm crazy, guys. You have to give this, my god, save string. Why not? So refresh this, and I'm saying now this. There you go. No, you haven't hacked. Now you can see it's rendered as it is. You don't it's just perfectly sanitized. now we're good. Now if you see here, now the beautiful part is that you cannot see this all that HTML tags because of this method. HTML entries, it recognizes HTML entities, and then and also and quotes, and it just encode them to a different character format that that browser cannot understand, and when it renders back it just goes like this. It's a different way, like you convert them, not in the standard HTML tags, but you convert them using UTF-8 character encoding. So now it's sanitized, that you cannot do any kind of script. Even now, if you say, okay, I want to bold something out. Let's say this should be bold, but what it does is, there you go, this should be bold, but it isn't. Now that we have done one sanitization, I'll do another one using a filter. Oh my god. Now for this I will use regular expressions. So, oh no, not filter, what was I thinking, is valid, we'll check is valid, function is valid. What I want to do is I want to create a pattern. Now you might know what regular expression is. If you don't know, you Google it. I'm not going to explain that now. You'll understand it anyways. So this is the way of doing a HTML or no PHP regular expression pattern. You start using this, and you end your pattern using $, and you want to define, okay, I want A to Z, simple A to Z, and capital A to Z characters only, and I want to limit the character size into at least the string that we provide should have at least 5 characters, and it can and not exceed 100 characters. And let's say, okay, you can have white spaces, that's what this means, and you have to escape this one as well. No, you don't need to escape that. And what is this? It's okay. Now this is the pattern. Now if now what you're trying to do here is you try to match to this pattern. If every user input that matches this pattern, it will accept it, otherwise it will say, okay, this is not a valid user input, and it will return false. Now that's what this function does. If I'm going to say now, if now this is a PHP built-in function, preg match, and if preg match success, I want to say pattern, and I want to give user input, let's say same here, dirty string. I want to give that dirty string. Oh, okay. If preg match gives you, okay, that's a valid one. if that means this pattern matches to the pattern that we give by from a user input, you say return, oh my god, true. Otherwise you say return false. Now it's valid. Okay, I'm not gonna use now sanitize user input function. I'll say if is valid, I will send in user input. If this is valid, I will say okay, you can write your data into the file. Otherwise return, not return, header function location index.php. I will say error equals 1. I'll set a get error field to verify whether this is okay. If that's okay, then it'll return to file and it'll render back part of the content inside the file. And if it's not a valid user input, it will not it'll give you an error. So we want to configure the error now. Let's say in here, this is our PHP tag. If we set get error, we're going to say echo invalid user input again with correct values. Okay, now I'm going to refresh that. Now we don't have file. I'm going to say this invalid user input, try again with correct values. You don't need to worry about this, you don't have anything. Okay, I'll just say okay, does not work like that. Okay, save string. My god, I'm crazy. Not save string, you say user input. Now you do that and Chad. What the hell? Yeah, because Chad, now I said you need at least 5 characters to 100. Okay, now I'm gonna go back here. Let's say SS. There you go, it's more than 5 characters. Now if I say this, now this has quotes and this has some these tags that we didn't define in our pattern, and this parentheses and a character some undefined characters that in our pattern. So if we submit this, there you go, invalid input, try again with correct values. That is it, guys, about XSS and how to prevent them using this. This is very simple explanation. I will try to bring you guys another one with a more beautiful GUI and some with another mechanisms, and I will bring you guys another video on what can we possibly expect from attackers who do these kind of attacks, and how to prevent them, how dangerous those are. And so thank you very much, guys, for being here with me for the whole time. So if you guys have learned from this video, feel free to leave a subscribe and click the bell button below, and I will give you guys the link in this description for this code, and you can download that and play with it. I don't know. So and leave a like and share among your friends if you know you want to share knowledge, right? So that is it guys. So I will see you in another video. Until then, may the source be with you. Peace.